Welcome to Nashville, where country music resonates from every city block. But today the soundtrack is football, as two of the game's storied programs take to the field in the Music City Bowl. Notre Dame's season looked like a platinum hit early, but spiraled off-key late. Today they try to finish on a high note, while LSU hopes to spoil the Irish party with a rock and roll defense and a brash young core looking to play the main stage next year. It's the Music City Bowl from Nashville. The Fighting Irish against the Tigers. As we welcome you to the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl game, the 17th edition here from LP Field in Nashville. An irradiant sky and an absolutely beautiful day for college football. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones alongside Rod Gilmore. Jessica Mendoza's down in the field joining us shortly. From all of us at ESPN to all of you at home, season's greetings. Rod, the big story for Notre Dame, we have a new starting quarterback. Malik Zaire gets the start in place of Everett Golson. What does that mean for them?
I'm not sure we know. I'm not sure Notre Dame knows. This could be the end of the Everett Golson era. It could be a wake-up call for him, but clearly Brian Kelly is frustrated with the guy who 6 weeks ago was a Heisman Trophy candidate, but he's turned the ball over so much, it's a problem. Now Malik Zaire, Brian Kelly says he has to find out about him. If he's a guy he can count on for this game or next season, he wants to find out. Well,
speaking of counting on, Leonard Fournette has been a guy that the Tigers offense has counted on all season long. Maybe the best offense that Notre Dame is going to face this year.
You're talking about power. When you talk about a running back like Leonard Fournette, 230 pounds, powerful guy running inside, coming off his best game of the season, a $146 in that ball game against A&M. He's an outstanding young player. We think he's going to be in the Heisman discussion next season.
Brian Kelly has taken his Fighting Irish to 5 consecutive bowl games, the 34th bowl game overall for the school. His record 44-20. And the big story again, Everett Golson is not starting in this game after starting the previous 12 this season, flaming out against USC in their last regular season game. And for more on him, let's go down to Jessica.
Well, guys, Everett Golson will get in the first quarter. That's what Brian Kelly told me just moments ago. He said he's concerned about Golson's psyche. He wants to make sure that he does not feel like a backup, that he feels like he is a key part to this game. I even asked Kelly, what if Zaire drives down the field, scores a few touchdowns? He said it does not matter. He will come out, and Golson will get in this first quarter.
Well, we're going to see what happens early here, Jessica, because Notre Dame won the toss, electing to receive. So they'll get a shot on offense to begin this ball game.
And Jessica is absolutely right. It is really about Golson's ego, pride, how he responds, how much he works with the team, how much he works with Zaire. That's going to tell you an awful lot about where things stand with the Irish.
Here, Carlisle back deep, but it's squared down to the 25-yard line. Fielded by the Fighting Irish. And they're going to start off. The ball came loose. But they're going to say that the runner was down already. Well, Brian Kelly, one thing about him, he is not afraid of expressing his feelings to his quarterbacks, whether it be Zaire or Everett Golson.
Watch
him squared away.
Yeah, we watched every one of his 20 pass attempts against USC. He has a live arm.
Working out of the shotgun on 1st and 10. Keeps it himself and runs it into the boundary. It's going to be brought down by Rasco on the play, right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Here's a look at his numbers.
He's listed at 210 pounds. Brian Kelly told us yesterday he is really much bigger than that, about 230 or so, he said. He is a zone read option quarterback. Did that in high school, dual threat. Was a top recruit because of that ability to throw it and to run with it.
Out of a shotgun. Gets his first completion out to the 38-yard line. That's receiver Chris Brown. Brought down by Godchaw. Devon Godchaw making the tackle on the play. Picked up about 3, and quickly it's 3rd down. What about the tempo that Notre Dame wants to run this game at, Rod?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Brian Kelly told us he'd like to slow the tempo down. But in fact, that's really been they've been the opposite of that. They've been more up-tempo.
Zaire with a little play action. The lefty rolls out. And fires a strike complete right near that first down marker at the 45-yard line to precise a 7-yard gain and a first down for Notre Dame. That's got to do a little bit for his confidence out of the box.
Well, you want to give a first-time starter something he's comfortable with. He can throw on the move. You see the right foot in there by Precise. Nicely done. We're talking about a young quarterback who is still developing. Didn't throw a lot of passes in high school. Ran it as much as he threw it.
First down. There's a little jet sweep action. And a nice gain of about 9 on the play. Tarian Folston with a nice run picks up 9.
One of the things that Brian Kelly told us about Zaire was that he liked his composure, his instincts as a quarterback, the way he managed the game against USC. Didn't find things to be too big for him.
Olsen in motion again. Zaire keeps it himself. Picks up the first down at the 40-yard line. Got 6 on that play. Notre Dame going against the SEC's #1 defense. LSU giving up just 308 yards per game.
It is a defense that has struggled with running quarterbacks. At least that's the view that Notre Dame has. And they believe that Zaire could bring a little different element for them. Dak Prescott had a good game rushing against the LSU defense.
Les Miles defense on the field to start this game. First and 10. They hand it off between the tackles. Daniil Hunter making the stop on the play. Tarian Folston again. No gain. Folston, McDaniel, Greg Bryant. Bunch of running backs for Notre Dame that going to get a bunch of touches today. They'll spread it around a little bit. Will Fuller, the main threat at wide receiver. There's a look at the numbers from Folston this year.
The unquestioned key dominant running back for Notre Dame.
2nd and 10. Little receiver screen complete. Down to the 32-yard line. That's Amir Carlisle. Pretty shifty runner. Picked up 9 on the play.
All the passes so far, nice, easy things to get Zaire comfortable. Nothing down the field, nothing over the middle where those linebackers and safeties are lurking. Clear looks for him.
Little low-risk plan to start.
3-step, get it out. Just let your teammates take the ball and get something done. They have a 3rd and short here.
Zaire played in 6 games this year, but this is his first start. Got significant playing time the last regular season game at USC. 3rd and 2. They run it between the tackles, and that's going to be a little bit of smash ball. Folston picks up the first down. So Notre Dame showing that they can roll up their sleeves a little bit and get those tough yards, Rod.
It's an offensive line that has struggled at times this season for Notre Dame to pound the football, and they like the matchups they have on the edges with the defensive ends of LSU. They've got Hunter over there at 240, Orozco 247. They like to run at the edge. Inside might be a little tougher.
9th play of the drive for Notre Dame. They run it again this time. Little or no gain to the 26. Well, call it 3 yards. Beckwith makes the stop on Folston. A little bit of a size discrepancy there in favor of the offensive line.
Yeah, and keep in mind on that right side, Mike McGlinchey is getting his first start. He is a sophomore for Notre Dame, 6'7 and a half, 310 pounds.
2nd and 7. Zaire downfield. Great adjustment by Robinson, but he couldn't come up with it. Corey Robinson defended by White on the play.
Well, LSU believes in press coverage, man-to-man coverage all over the field. And you see White matched up against Robinson, a back shoulder throw intentionally thrown underneath. That is something Notre Dame talked about and worked on all week against that press coverage. They want those back shoulder throws, and Robinson should have come up with that one.
Had that big game against Florida State. Of course, the son of David Robinson, the NBA Hall of Famer, NBA champion. 3rd and 7 for Notre Dame here. They're going to run it and nowhere to go that time. for precise on that little sweep. 4th down coming up, and that pushes them back in the respective field goal range. Ball's going to be spotted at the 28. 4th down coming up.
I think that's probably just outside their range. Yeah, they're going to go for it here. I don't think they could make a field goal from that distance.
Well, make it a 45-yarder. Brings as long as 48. 4th and 9. Brian Kelly going to go for it. And the play clock winding down. Zaire gets it off in time. And he's going to take off, try and do it himself. And brought down. Well, it looks like
he got it.
He got it. Yeah, he got just enough.
That's the element.
Wow.
He's a big quarterback and lower body strength. About 230, 235 on a 6', 6'1" frame. And you see the power to finish off the run.
Boy, a huge conversion that time by Malik Zaire. Well, Brian Kelly said that they wanted to control clock, and holding onto the ball here for about 6.5 minutes to start the game. It's Golson again inside the 15, brought down by Daniil Hunter. What's the thought process behind that?
Well, he's trying to help protect his defense. You look at that Notre Dame defense, they've had so many injuries and they have so many young guys playing. He doesn't want to expose that defense to a powerful offensive line and powerful backs for LSU. Wants to keep his offense on the field as long as possible.
2nd and 7. Golson in the backfield. 7 on the play clock. Zaire rolling out of the pocket, hits his target complete. At the 12-yard line, Will Fuller, the team's leading receiver on the season, makes the catch, and they move Zaire around for a 3-yard pickup.
Well, Zaire is getting comfortable things here. Little half row, hanging in there. Sometimes getting hit early helps you feel comfortable in a ball game.
Is that the kind of comfort you need?
You know, knock the cobwebs loose a little bit.
Now, you realize he's playing football.
No, it's a real game now. Butterflies get knocked right out of you.
3rd and 4. Carlisle in motion to the top of your screen. Zaire completes it. Touchdown Notre Dame. Fuller. Malik Zaire, named the starter a little over 24 hours ago, leads Notre Dame down the field on the opening drive of the ball game to give them a 6-0 lead. They use up about 8 minutes on the clock.
Couldn't have scripted a better opening drive.
And Fuller with his 15th touchdown catch of the season. And that was Zaire's first touchdown pass of the year and of his career. The Golden Domers going to try and snap that 4-game losing streak and off to a great start in the Music City. Notre Dame up 7-0. Will Fuller with the touchdown catch. What was the key here, Rod?
Well, Ronnie Stanley, the left tackle, does a great job. You'll see him get out there and get a great open field block on White, the corner. That's right there. Now look what he gets. He gets that block. You get all that open. You got a block there. And there is just an open highway for Fuller to get into the end zone. A great opening drive from Malik Zaire, finished off by Fuller. But credit left tackle Ronnie Stanley with the fantastic open field block.
McGee and Leonard Fournette back deep for the Tigers. This is Fournette, the freshman running back. And he takes it out to the 27-yard line. Now it's Anthony Jennings' turn. 6'2" sophomore from Marietta, Georgia, leading this Tiger offense. Fournette, the lone back behind him. And Fournette was stopped up early and then moves forward, picks up about 4 on out to the 31-yard line. And, well, the numbers on Jennings aren't what you would call impressive, but he was effective and had his best game of the year, arguably, against Texas A&M in their last regular season game, passing for 107 and rushing for 119, but completing just 49% on the season. Little fumble-rooski play. Doral takes it around the end, still on his feet, and brought down finally at the 30-yard line. So the Mad Hatter rolls the dice and comes up with a little trickery. A 25-yard gain on the play.
Well, you see him right there crouching down, and he just picks up the ball there. I mean, he had it all the time. Love it.
Les Miles has got a proclivity for those plays. Fournette, nothing tricky about this, just grown man running with the straight arm too on Max Redfield. Fournette with a first down.
You got the up-tempo working, and you've got a pretty young, beat-up defense trying to hang in there.
Fournette again gets downhill inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Sheldon Day makes the stop on the gain of 5. LSU certainly in rhythm on this drive.
Yeah, and again, this is a defense that has suffered so many injuries all season. Nothing quite like it. Says Brian Van Gorder, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, has never seen this in his 26 years of coaching.
Gordon and Stokes, a couple of tight ends in. Jennings on the bootleg and wisely throws it into the ground. Connor Neighbors, the fullback, was the closest receiver there, so that stops the clock with 10 seconds to go in the first quarter. 3rd and 5.
At Notre Dame defense, I think they had only 3 players who started every game this season. Just take a look at that. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Lost 3 players to suspension before the season began. 11 players are out for the season.
Wow. Joe Schmidt, their MVP, is out with an ankle injury for the season as well. Fournette into the boundary, and he's going to waltz in on the score. Touchdown, Tigers. Dixon with a great block leading the way.
Watch Miles Morgan in the middle of the field. That's your linebacker. The freshman got blocked off completely.
In the words of Les Miles, he says, Fournette, he was born ready to play.
You have to be a grown man to tackle him.
5 seconds to go in the first quarter, and man, the Tigers got their giddy up on, really speeding up the tempo.
But Notre Dame has been physically dominated by SEC teams the last couple of times they've played them, and that last drive was a pretty good example of it.
We're talking about most notably and recently that loss in the national championship game against Alabama. Really a lopsided contest. And Carlisle takes the knee. It'll come out for the 25. Now Golson gets his opportunity. 29 touchdown passes on the season, but he's turned it over 22 times. Hands it off to Folston. A nice gain of about 7 on the play, and that'll be the end of the first 15 minutes of play.
At the end of the first
It was a good start for Notre Dame, trying to snap out of that 4-game losing streak. Zaire and Fuller combining to give them the lead. And Fournette countering for the Tigers on the other end. Back with the second quarter after this. Great football game, tied at 7. Here in the start of the second quarter, Mark Jones alongside Rod Gilmore. Jessica Mendoza down to the field. Everett Golson in at quarterback now. Hands it off to Folston. Picks up about 3 on the play. It was interesting when we spoke to Brian Kelly and asked him to characterize Golson's reaction after being told that he'd be coming off the bench. He said, hey, Everett wasn't surprised, but he's still ready to help us try to win this football game. Started all 12 games this year. Completed 60% of his passes. Back to pass here. Fires it. And it's incomplete to the far side of the field. Intended for Chris Brown.
Well, Golson has to be careful not to press. You know, he's a great quarterback, had a great career, and now to be demoted certainly messes with your ego, messes with your pride, and you don't want to press and make mistakes. And Kelly's made it clear to him the #1 thing he has to do is take care of the football.
Second and 10. They hand it off on a little jet sweep. And a nice gain on the play by Folston. Picks up the first down. Rod, I want to take you back to what you just said about Everett Golson, a quarterback. If you're told, hey, don't turn it over, don't turn it over, does that change the way you play in a bad sense?
Absolutely.
How so?
Well, and he's going to be really careful and cautious. He's just not going to let it wing. You know, he may take a sack instead of throwing the football. He's going to make absolutely certain that what he sees is clear before he lets the ball go.
Running into the boundary. Folston brought down after a gain of about 2. Godchaux making the stop.
You know, watching Golson in warm-ups, you could tell that, you know, he was a little bit unhappy, if you would. You know, he wasn't in the middle of things with the team. But you certainly got the sense that he was ready to play. I mean, he looked good throwing the ball. But it's all about his attitude and demeanor now.
Second down and 8. Back to throw it. Under a little bit of heat and incomplete. Great battle down the sidelines with Tre'Davious White and Ronald Martin back there. Good pressure by Martin. There's a look at White. In on coverage, sets up a 3rd down and 8. Take one more look.
He does take a hit, a big hit. Good shot, fair shot by Ronald Martin, right at the numbers.
Did Notre Dame throw it downfield on this defense?
Well, you're going to get a chance, but it's going to have to be placed correctly. A lot of press coverage.
Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 8. A little pressure coming by the Tigers. Golson stands in and delivers a rocket complete. Brown, and a first down all the way inside the 25 for Notre Dame.
What a solid play in the pocket. Good footwork by Golson. You see the base there. He's not leaning back. He's got good square base there. That's something that Brian Kelly talked to him about, his footwork. He's got to be solid with that, and he was able to deliver a laser strike.
Man, he hung in there, Rod, until the last possible second.
Pocket presence, he showed at that time.
29-yard gain, 1st and 10. Up the middle down to the 16-yard line. Golson, you know, we were told that when we asked Brian Kelly, said, hey, you know, Everett, he improved on all of his weaknesses during bowl practice, and I was happy with the way that he performed. And he said, I admittedly maybe have not coached him as well as I should have this year, and now look who comes into the ball game. It's Zaire.
Hey, if I'm Golson, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Don't I get a chance to score a touchdown?
2nd down and 4. Greg Bryant in a tailback. Malik Zaire hands it off. Nowhere to go between the tackles that time. A gain of about 2 on the play. Lockature making the stop for the Tigers. 3rd down coming up.
Well, now it may be the reason that Zaire's back in there is because of his ability in that zone read game to run the football, and they may want him in there down in this area.
Notre Dame has already run 30 plays in this ball game.
Heavy set. They've got a couple tight ends in there.
Golson in motion. Zaire keeps it all the way down to the 6-yard line. Picks up the first down. It'll be 1st and goal for Notre Dame.
Well, that's the rationale for putting him in there. They want to go fast now. They put him in there to run the ball in the red zone. You get an extra blocker when you have your quarterback run the football. You see the huge hole they had inside.
Couple of receivers to the top of your screen. Folston in motion. Zaire keeps it again. Malik Zaire, touchdown, Notre Dame. A combo platter. of Golson and Zaire.
Hey, say what you want about Notre Dame failing against the SEC and the SEC being too physical. Not up front with this offensive line today. Notre Dame's offensive line has been dominant against the big boys out of the SEC.
That's a great statement. That's an interesting statement you make there, partner.
Couldn't have said that a couple years ago.
Brings in for the extra point, and Notre Dame an underdog in this game, leading 14-7 here in the early part of the second quarter. Malik Zaire on the old option, kept it himself. And as I mentioned, a combo platter of Golson and Zaire adding up to a 14-7 Notre Dame lead.
I love how we get our body language experts out of
these kind of situations. On the return from the goal line, Fournette got ahead of steam. Leonard Fournette ready to kick that turbo in. He is gone. ...100 yards.
Oh, LSU can't wait to 2015 to turn him loose. Are you kidding me? That is just unfair. You can't be 230-plus pounds and run like that. This is just ridiculous. Gets some great blocking, but he runs right through the angles of a couple of potential blocks at 230-plus pounds.
Wow. Using some of that 10.6 100-meter sprinter speed. Wow. There's something not right about that.
Oh, my goodness.
Leonard Fournette. Earlier this year, he struck a Heisman pose. You might want to start practicing that again and forsake this little one here. Look at the Country Music Hall of Fame here in Nashville, Tennessee. So much great history of that art form. And kind of surprised that my phone calls to Toby Keith and some of the other country music stars
maybe hit you back
unreturned. Yeah, really disappointed this week.
Maybe they thought you were drunk on a plane.
One of my favorite songs. Tied at 14 after that electrifying kickoff return of 100 yards by Leonard Fournette. There's a flag down on the kickoff. Zaire back in at quarterback to start this drive. Golson started the last drive before giving away to Zaire in the red zone. That's going to be a loss. Deion Jones making the tackle on Folston. There's a look at the quarterback comparison between the two so far.
It feels like a transition. It feels like Zaire is becoming the guy and Golson is no longer the guy. That's the way it feels. That may not play out that way, but it has that feeling right now. Would you agree?
Yeah. On 2nd and 12, Zaire will continue to be the guy if he completes passes like that. Precise. Ronald Martin makes the tackle, but there's a flag down back at the 49-yard line.
There's a lot of aggressive grabbing and pushing by the defenders.
Holding, number 16 on the defense. That penalty is declined. Yardage results in a first down.
That's White. He is very aggressive. He gets beat a little bit here by Brown, and you see him just latch on. A lot of press coverage in your face at the line of scrimmage, a la the Seattle Seahawks. That's what you get out of LSU, and Notre Dame's challenge is to get off the line of scrimmage.
First down and 10 after that 21-yard gain. It was to Folston. And Folston, it's about 2.5 yards right. You're talking about press coverage. And been on this for a while now. The scores are so astronomically high in college football. It appears as if the defenses don't get that much leeway. What do you think of them changing or altering the rules?
Not good.
No?
I'm not a fan.
I mean, he scores up in the 60s and 50s now routinely. 2nd and 7. Zaire back to pass. Taking a shot. Incomplete. Intended for Corey Robinson, who was battling White.
Well, to your point, that's the press coverage again. Robinson at 6'4" has a height advantage, size. Brian Kelly said he wanted that matchup, and that was almost a fantastic catch by Robinson. Just couldn't quite come down with it. How about the job by White fighting all the way through to try and get that ball out?
And Golson now in at quarterback for Notre Dame on 3rd down and 7.
A little bit better of a pocket passer at this point than Zaire.
Little blitz coming, throws it up for grabs, and caught at the 26-yard line. Wow, what a play on the ball by Will Fuller.
Fuller probably saved Golson coming up with that one, because that's the kind of throw that Brian Kelly has not been a fan of. Under pressure, throws it up, pretty decent coverage. Fuller comes back and goes up high to grab it. That's a saving catch there.
And Zaire took Golson took a shot too, Rod.
Yeah.
I mean, he took a big one. He's a little shaken up coming off the field as Zaire comes in. Zaire in at quarterback. Golson in motion. Zaire keeps it. He's going to be stoned back at the 28-yard line by Jalen Collins, the junior cornerback.
Yeah, Collins made the play, but Rasco blew it up. 59 Rasco blew that play up, got into the backfield, and there was no place for Zaire to go. He absolutely eliminated everything on that play.
Rasco said in the days leading up to this game that I can't wait to get on the field against Notre Dame and play lights out. 2nd and 12 coming up. 3 receivers split to the top of your screen. But they run it. And Folston with nowhere to go. Rasco with a lights out play there, making the tackle. Maybe a gain of 1. 3rd down coming up. Does Golson come back in here? Does he stay on the sidelines?
Well, that substitution pattern, as you see the comparisons right now in the ball control, Notre Dame said they needed to do this, and boy, look at that, almost 18 minutes compared to 4. But no Golson here.
3rd and 11, a passing situation on the fringes of the red zone. Robinson split to the bottom of your screen. He's given time and completes it. 1st and goal for Notre Dame. Fuller with the catch.
This kid can throw it. We watched him in warm-ups, and he's got a cannon. I just wasn't sure during warm-ups that, he could always put it where he needed to. But watch this. This is just a laser. Man, if Fuller doesn't catch that ball, it's going to knock him over.
Fuller turned around. The ball was right there to pick up 17. 1st and goal from the 10. The fake, the sweep. Zaire keeps it down to about the 7-yard line. Malik Zaire said to be the more vocal of the 2 quarterbacks. A little bit more of an outgoing personality. 6-foot sophomore from Kettering, Ohio.
He's really off to a terrific start. And he can pat his offensive linemen, who have just really played, I think, physically, the best they've played all season. They've dominated LSU up front, and they haven't played this well as a unit.
Still tied at 14 apiece. Play clock down to 4. Golson bouncing it outside. Got a block from Zaire. Touchdown, Fighting Irish. Roddy throws blocks too.
Hey, you kidding me? He can run it, he's throwing it, and he's out there leading Folston into the end zone, and takes a hand to the face in the process, but hangs in there with the block. Just watch the block by Zaire. There he's got a face full of hand, and he stays with the block.
Does that count as a block on the sheet when you get graded on Monday?
Absolutely. You kidding me? A quarterback down there?
Golson with the touchdown run, his 6th of the season, 9th of his career. And Notre Dame leads it 21-14. 6:12 to go. After Golson gave way to Zaire, Zaire hands it off and then leads the way. Back to the Music City Bowl after this. Well, remember last time during the kickoff, Leonard Fournette ran it back 100 yards. He won't get a chance this time. First down and 10. Jennings gets rid of it late. Set up a third down. Might be second and 10.
You know, Jonesy, LSU has no passing yards.
Can they win that way?
Not consistently. It's not good.
Can they win today that way?
I don't believe so. You got to find a way. And I think, you know, Cam Cameron told us yesterday, he said, look, we got to complete more than 50% of our passes. They haven't completed anything yet.
They're 0 for 3. Jennings was 12th this year in the SEC in passing yards. Really the only full-time starter that completed less than 50% of his passes on the season. Completes this one over the middle to his big tight end, Deshaun Smith, and almost on cue, Rod, they complete their first one of the ball game.
Off the snide with about 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. I don't think anything other than an option team has gone this long without completing a pass to get on the positive yardage side. But there is Smith with a big catch, and now maybe Jennings and company will get into a rhythm here.
They go to the reverse here, looking to throw it. And now running is the RC. And brought down a couple of yards short of the first down.
Well,
on DRs.
Well, DRs wanted Jennings down the field. Jennings sort of gave up on the route, and DRs was telling him, go deep, keep running, and I'll throw it. And he stopped, and so he had to pull it down and run it. He was frustrated by that. I don't blame him. He wanted to show off that arm.
Smiles had another trick up his sleeve there. Now from the 37-yard line, Terrence McGee in the backfield. Little offset eye look. McGee cuts it back. Is brought down at the 35. They're going to mark it short of the first down. Cole Luke making the tackle off the corner. Hey, so far with all the injuries to this Notre Dame defense, they've held up relatively well, although they haven't been on the field all that much, Rod.
Yeah,
right?
the offense has helped them out exactly the way Brian Kelly wanted to go. And remember, this is a very young team. There's Betty over there with his first start on the left end.
Little jumbo look up front here by LSU. High formation. Connor Neighbors, the fullback, leading the way. And McGee picks up the first down. Across the 30 down to the 29, picks up 6.
You know, next year, both these teams have a chance to be really, really good, particularly if they don't lose juniors, and LSU in particular. I mean, they've got so many juniors that they've lost over the last couple of years. They could lose some more this year. Les Miles is trying desperately to make sure he can hold on to those guys, and he says winning this game would go a long way to selling those juniors on coming back.
First and 10. Fournette motions out of the backfield, and they give it to McGee. And McGee picks up another first down. Redfield with the tackle. You know, Les Miles facing a John Calipari type of situation in football with all the talent that leaves early year after year at LSU.
Yeah, he's got a couple guys up front. Alexander and Hawkins outstanding on that left side. If they come back next year, this offense will be loaded. They'll probably be pretty good anyway, but if they could keep some of those juniors, they've got a couple guys playing in the league who could have been on the team this year.
Jennings keeps it himself. Gains about 3. Yeah, Jeremy Hill, for one, would look pretty good in this LSU backfield right now. But right now, he just happens to be making a big check and stacking it up a little bit with the Cincinnati Bengals as their starting tailback.
And how about those receivers in the league? Odell Beckham Jr., Landry.
It's tough when you try and replace talent like that year after year, and especially, as you pointed out, when they leave early. 13th play of the drive. They run it, Jennings. And he's going to be stopped up short of the end zone at about the 3 17 seconds to go. LSU with 1 timeout remaining. And
got to use it.
4. Yeah, got to use this.
Yeah.
17 seconds to go. LSU out of timeouts. 3rd and goal. Darrell Williams in the backfield beside Jennings. Hits the corner. Complete. But short of the end zone. Stops the clock with 12 seconds to go. Diarce made the catch. And it's 4th and goal. Riggs pushed him out of bounds. And in comes the field goal unit, led by Trent Demang.
Got to take the points.
Demang is just 2 of 3 on the year. They've made a change with their place kicker. Colby Delahousie was the #1 guy.
Well, he was in a slump. He was
big one,
struggling the last part of the season.
Got for the trick plays. It is Les Miles' team. And they run one. Did he get in? No signal. It's short. Notre Dame stones him. Cragthorpe tried to run it in, and we're going to take another look at this because that was awfully close. He extended the ball.
Yeah, from the angle that we initially saw from up here, it didn't look like he got in.
Sure didn't.
But I think you had the call. You never know with Les Miles.
Yep.
The ruling on the field is that the runner was short of the goal line. The prior play is under further review.
So they're going to take a look at this.
Well, remember, the call on the field was he didn't get in, so you need pretty much clear and convincing evidence to overturn this call. There's Cragthorpe. Ooh. Oh, that's breaking the plane there. Look at that.
Well,
he extended
was he down,
that
though, or?
Well, from that angle, it looked to me like he broke the plane before he was down. No knee.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you know, you got to go back and take a look. You got to find the knee. You got to find the knee. Is he down?
Boy, that's a tough one from that angle.
Yeah, from that angle, that's tough. You know, I saw the ball, but I don't know where the knee was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Boy, what a play. Here's the call.
Review of the ruling on the field stands. 7 seconds.
And the Admiral happy about that one, too. What a compelling first half it was, with some pivotal, controversial, scrutinized plays. The explosive play by Leonard Fournette on the kickoff return. And let's go to Jessica downstairs.
Well, Coach, you guys have been so young on defense. You've lost so many of those key cogs, yet tonight you've been able to make the big plays. Who has stood out to you?
Well, I just think everybody's playing together. You know, it's you know, one of those things where you just got to play with your heart. And, you know, defense is a game where, you know, you got to come together. We got a lot of young guys. We got a lot of experience over the last, 20 days where they came together and, they're playing with emotion. We got a half that we got to play against a very good defense, and we got to continue to move the ball. We were able to keep our defense off the field. That helped us a lot.
Well, you had said with Malik Zaire in his first start, you wanted him to get some hits. You wanted to see how he would react. How do you feel like he's performed so far?
He did a nice job. Obviously controlling the clock, running the football, and then taking our shots when we got it. I thought Everett got in there, made some key plays on 3rd down for us. So I think the combination of both of them is working out pretty good for us.
And specifically that last play, what needed to happen to make that big stop?
Well, obviously, we were aware of the fake, the opportunity that there could be a fake in there, and our guys just rallied to it and made that's a great stand for us, and gives us a lot of confidence going into the half.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Well, in bowl games, you never know about a team's motivation. But Notre Dame certainly motivated, trying to snap that 4-game losing streak. LSU equally as amped for this one. 21-14 at the break. Fighting Irish rip the lead as we head to the studio for our halftime report. And welcome everyone to the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl here on the banks of the Cumberland River in Nashville, Tennessee. The 17th edition of this ball game, and a very interesting 30 minutes to start this one off. Notre Dame with the lead, 21-14, and a two-headed quarterback combo of Zaire and Golson, the prevailing storyline, still moving forward here in the second half. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Jessica Mendoza down in the field. Rod, a very controversial play to end the first half. Les Miles rolling the dice and coming up a little bit short. But LSU going to get a chance to start with the ball here in the second half with a kickoff. What do you see with them moving forward here?
That was not a dull first half at all, was it? Well, I think a couple things for LSU. You know, they've got to find a way to throw the football. They've not been able to do that effectively. And then defensively, they're struggling with the quarterback run game and Notre Dame being in two tight ends. They haven't handled any of that very well. And for Notre Dame, it's all good. I mean, two quarterbacks, and it's worked out well. Zaire with a great first start for him. You know, if you're Notre Dame, you're feeling really good about what you have and what you think you may have next season.
And Fournette, who's already run a kickoff back 100 yards for a touchdown in this game, for the second consecutive time, will not get an opportunity to run this one back. Let's go downstairs to Jessica.
I just spoke with Les Miles, and he said how they're going to handle the quarterback running game. He said guys are out of position. They're not having the vision they need to and focus on what they need to be. I also asked him about trick plays. He laughed and he said, oh, you bet I have a couple up my sleeve. I can't tell you, but you go ahead and prepare the country. The Les Miles isn't done yet.
Gotta love that kind of attitude in a bowl game.
Good stuff.
Darrell Williams in the backfield beside Jennings. Jennings stepping back to pass and wide open at the 45. Diarce. One guy to beat. Diarce. Touchdown. Tigers. Wow. They stun Notre Dame with a pass to open the second half. Well, Rod, I guess they found a way to pass, as you were alluding to earlier.
Yeah, and you know what? A little bit of a trick play. Miles was honest with Jess about what he was going to do. He opened up with one. A little trickeration there. Not a big trick play, but enough to get Notre Dame's defense kind of out of balance, out of position.
And that 75-yard completion for the score is the longest pass in bowl history.
I want you to take a look. Right in your center, there is Max Redfield. He's the safety. He bites on the notion that Jennings is going to run with the football. Watch him. As he comes up there, oh, it's a trick, it's a trap, it's a trap. And there, right behind him, Diarce. Off to the races, can't run him down.
Well, don't want to nitpick here or give anybody buzzkill, but it wasn't really a well-thrown football. It was actually behind Diarce.
See?
He still went the distance with it, 75 yards.
Yeah, they get a big pass play, and you want to nitpick here? Come on, man.
Tied at 21. And a great beginning in the second half for LSU. Les Miles found a little redemption very quickly here. Here's Carlisle, Amir Carlisle, looking for a seam and takes it out to the 30-yard line. It'll be first down and 10.
Sometimes I stay at a place that allows me to think on it.
Not just on TV. And Zaire, Malik Zaire takes the first snap of the second half for Notre Dame and picks up a couple of yards, brought down by Kendall Beckwith.
Well, and if you missed the first half, you missed a great start for Malik Zaire. His first start in college football, and came out with an opening drive.
Yeah, 15 plays for the score. How important for him to have that kind of success here to get the second half underway and keep that flow going?
Well, I think if he has that kind of a second half, he will have anointed himself as the guy.
Zaire, a little counter step first and then taking it to the edge. Telling that DB, you better talk to the hand. As got a little run support off the corner. Good block from Koyak.
That was Jalen Collins, who many believe will be a high draft pick as a cornerback. Number 32 at the bottom of your screen. One of several juniors for LSU thinking about coming out in next spring's NFL draft.
3rd and 4. Empty formation, 5 wideouts for the Fighting Irish. Zaire locks in and completes the pass to the 43 for the first down to Chris Brown. And a real authoritative, completing that pass for 9 yards.
Yeah, working on Collins. And Collins is a big corner. He's 6'2", about 200 pounds. Just a slant route and that press coverage. And what a laser throw. We've seen 4 or 5 of those from Zaire today. Just bullets that his receiver had no choice but to catch.
He had all of 9 completions on the season coming into the game today. First and 10 for Notre Dame. Good field position at the 45. And Folston falling forward for about 2 yards on the play.
If that quarterback puts his hands in there with the football, he's got it. You don't take it away from him. If he starts to pull, you let him have it out. That quarterback is making the decision, not the running back.
Time they got it crossed and caused the turnover. 2nd and 8. Everett Golson back in the ball game now for the first time since he took that big hit in the first half. Golson out of the shotgun, ready to throw. Incomplete. Tried to find Chris Brown, who never really had a shot at it. 3rd and 8 coming up, and Golson says that one's on me. Here's a look at the hit that he took earlier. A hit that Brian Kelly, the head coach of Notre Dame, was upset about.
Yeah,
getting on some of the referees.
Yeah, Kelly wanted a flag, and it was a clean hit. And he had a heated discussion with the officials about it, but I thought it was the right call.
3rd and 8. Golson still in. Play clock at 6. LSU bringing a little bit of heat. Golson has a man, and incomplete, intended for Fuller. And once again, Golson said that one's on me.
Well, as far as the comparison in passing today, yeah, that's his bad, and he knows it. Zaire has thrown the ball better, and he's run the ball better. I'm not sure that I can recall seeing a marquee quarterback fall off as quickly and as much as we've seen with Golson in the eyes of his own coaching staff. And you're talking about a guy who mid-season was a Heisman Trophy candidate, and right now he's in danger of losing his job.
Yeah, even in defeat at that Florida State game, still thought of pretty highly. And this is going to be a good punt for Notre Dame, rolling out of bounds at the 11-yard line by Brinza. Tied at 21 with 6:26 to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back after this. Look at some of the festive ornaments at the Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center, where both teams were staying. And let's take a look at the hot topics around college football, brought to you by Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah, can you imagine the soap opera next year in Notre Dame around college football if Golson and Zaire are battling and whether Golson stays or goes? Where will Braxton Miller be? And the Big 12, what will they do about their scheduling?
Jennings on the toss. This is Fournette breaking into the clear, and he can be trouble. 7, taking it for 6. Touchdown, Tigers. An 89-yard bolt across the grass for a touchdown.
You know, you talk about good blocks, follow your fullback. That offensive line, that left side, we've talked about before, about how they have 2 guys, Washington and Hawkins, who are likely NFL players. He got in behind them, and 89 yards later, man, that guy, that big, that fast.
I think that was worthy of a Heisman pose in the end zone. And let us stoke the campaign officially right now. Leonard Fournette, 89 yards, the longest run in Music City Bowl history. Welcome back, everyone, to the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Leonard Fournette has lit this place up with this run.
Yeah, take a look at the block by Collins there, and then also by Alexander, and then you get your fullback Neighbors coming in. You get 3 great blocks like that, you can bust one. They get the linebackers knocked out of the way, You talk about 2 linemen, get it going. And now, when you break in the open like this, just check out the scoreboard. Who's behind you?
He's looking up.
I got 40 pounds on these puny defensive backs, and I'm faster than them.
Oh, Leonard Fournette going up on a Tuesday. And that's what he was looking at while he was running into the end zone, checking to see who is inhaling his exhaust and his fumes in his wake. Amir Carlisle here on the kickoff return. And Carlisle brought down to the 33-yard line. Boy, the momentum has really swung in LSU's favor here early in the third quarter. Fournette had a 100-yard kickoff return. The Arse had a 75-yard touchdown catch and the 89-yard run. All 3 of those Music City Bowl records. Malik Zaire is now in at quarterback. Rolling out and keeping it himself. Zaire got stuck at about the 40-yard line, gaining 7 yards. What about them playing ball control? But it's different, isn't it, when you're playing from behind? I mean, they're down 7 now. It's a little different.
I think in a 1-possession game, it doesn't matter. I think they will continue to be deliberate. See, they're not rushing to the line of scrimmage, bleeding the clock a little bit. I think Brian Kelly wants to get this game into the 4th quarter.
Golson picks up the first down and put his hat down and ran over the DB there. It looked like White got trucked. Jalen Mills also in on the stop. First down and 10. And already Notre Dame acquitting itself pretty well against a physical line of scrimmage stout SEC team. First and 10 with a little over 5 minutes to go in the third. A gain of 6.
I think they've answered the question about whether they can be physical.
Golson brought down at midfield at the 50 by Rasco.
That 2012 championship game was a 42-14 loss to Alabama. Wasn't that close. In 07 in the Sugar Bowl was 41-14. In both those cases, they were just dominated. And a lot of folks thought, well, if that happens again today, it's back to the drawing board for Notre Dame. And, you know, what do you do to get physical enough? Brian Kelly says, no, we're more physical now. And you're seeing that tonight.
Golson leading the way, running. And this is precise. One guy to beat. Lunging. Touchdown, Notre Dame. What an answer.
Well, how about a great block first by Koyak, your tight end, to knock things down inside. And then you get Nick Martin, your guard, coming out. I mean, these dueling offensive lines have been given some great blocks, and we've seen some huge big plays today. Notre Dame answering.
Kyle Brinza with the extra point. And now we are tied at 28. Well, this is the 17th edition of the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl, shaping up to be a classic, tied at 28. Notre Dame and LSU meeting for the 11th time. And Fournette watches it go out the back of the end. We asked Coach Miles about the young man and said, you know, one of his teammates asked him, man, aren't you tired, dude? They're going through rough workouts, and everybody was gasping for air as they run it forward with Hilliard on his first carry. And one of his teammates asked him, Leonard, man, dog, aren't you tired? He said, I sweat. I don't get tired. I mean,
that's cool.
You got to be 6 foot 235 and a body of a Greek god to be able to give that kind of answer.
Only cool guys can answer that way.
Less than half a minute to go here.
Helps when you can run behind the left side of that LSU line. They've got some studs over there.
Yeah, Lyle Collins, number 70. One of the top guys at his position in college football. They run the sweep. This is Doral, picks up the first down. Makes it out to the 37-yard line, and 5 seconds to go here at the end of the third. 13-yard gain as they move the chains.
It's like Fournette got the Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan treatment. The little rest at the end of the quarter.
Sub him out.
Yeah.
At the end of the third period.
And when you run for 100 yards on a kickoff return and 80-something, you might need a breather. Might want to call him Tailwind Fournette, because that's what he's leaving in his wake. Welcome back, everyone, to the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl on the banks of the Cumberland River. The golden hues piercing the clouds here as nightfall approaches. And I'll look at some of the cogent numbers so far. Malik Zaire, the quarterback today, the starting quarterback for the Fighting Irish, 159 total yards, a couple of touchdowns. The headline, tied at 28. Running into the boundary this time. Terrence McGee with nowhere to go. Okwara making the stop, and boy, defensive coordinator Brian Van Gorder couldn't say enough about Romeo Okwara and his improvement this year. Led the team with 4 sacks. And Fournette back in the ball game now. How looking over the sideline. Now he's going to stay in.
Yeah, how about those battles? You've got some freshmen and sophomore linebackers at Notre Dame, some outstanding freshman and sophomore skilled players at LSU. They may see each other again over the next couple of years.
Jennings with time finds his man over the middle. Brought down short of the first down. Deshaun Smith with another catch today. That seems to be one of his favorite targets, a 7-yard gain on the play.
It's an easy throw, a big target, helps the quarterback out, particularly when you struggle to get the ball down the field.
.6:49 to play. Tied at 28.
Remember, third down situations, Notre Dame likes to bring pressure. That's been the signature for Van Gorder, the D coordinator.
On 3rd and 3. Jennings keeps it himself. Oh boy, that's going to be close. Jalen Smith there to make another tackle for the Fighting Irish. Let's see where they spot it. It's going to be short, according to that line and that approximation we have.
You know, we talked about quarterback play in the fourth quarter, being the inner Joe Montana. And right now, we've not seen that kind of play. Each team has kind of drawn it in, played a little bit more tight, not trusted their quarterbacks to take chances here in the fourth quarter.
Keen to punt. Greg Bryant going to try and field this low line drive at the 17 and met immediately. Good coverage downfield by the Tigers. Jamal Adams. Everett Golson on the sidelines. Will he stay there or will it be Zaire? We'll find out in a minute. Zaire in. Rolls out to his left, which makes it a better throw for him. Completes the pass to Amir Carlisle.
How much do you trust your quarterback down here? And you've trusted him enough to play him most of the game. Look at Golson, only 13 plays.
That's 4 times as many plays.
And I think that says as much as anything about where this quarterback position is going.
Golson stopped up with nowhere to go. Great stop by Jamal Adams, the true freshman. Loss of 2 on the play.
But now you have a fourth quarter, 3rd down. Young quarterback. How much do you trust him? What's the play you give him? You trust him to throw it here?
Opportunities here for the quarterbacks respectively to rise to the occasion in defining moments.
He is so good on the zone read. I got to believe that's where they lean. as opposed to throwing it.
LSU with a little pressure. They try to heat him up, and he eludes the rush for the first down near the 30-yard line.
His helmet is off, so he's going to have to come off the field for a play. Unless, of course, it was ripped off by a defender.
Number 8, helmet came off. He must leave the game for one play.
Okay, he's coming off. Golson will come in. Golson was warming up earlier.
But they weren't planning on that, though, right? For this one, you'd think. Let's see what the call is for Golson. Hands it off. That's Bryant reversing his field, or at least trying to. And getting back to about the 30. No gain on the play. See if Zaire comes back in or whether Golson stays in the ball game. Golson looks over to the sidelines and looks like he's
I think that says a lot there, that Golson looks over. I mean, this is a guy who started for 2 years and he's on the field. He's looking as to whether he gets to stay on the field.
2nd and 15. Golson complete out near the first down, and a great grab on the play by Will Fuller, the team's leading receiver, who was working on Jalen Collins. A 14-yard pickup, and Golson threw that with a lot of authority.
Well, Fuller has gone from being a 6-catch guy last season to an All-American this year. Got his 15th touchdown. And now a lot of boos coming from the crowd because...
Thought I heard a smattering of boos.
Yeah, and that's Golson coming out.
Zaire brought down at about the 42-yard line. You know what? It's the old 50% rule.
Well,
maybe they were booing the spot.
I think they were booing the fact that Golson threw that pass and then he had to come out. Remember, there was some unrest in the stadium when he came out after leading the team down the field, and Zaire came in and got the touchdown. So this soap opera is only beginning. And you think about the offseason in Notre Dame, if Golson is there and dealing with where the quarterback position goes.
There'll be a lot to talk about in South Bend.
Yeah.
1st and 10, under 2 minutes to go. Zaire going to pass it, taking a shot downtown, and intercept. No, incomplete. At the 10-yard line, Will Fuller, the intended receiver, but double coverage back there. That's safety help.
Getting back to the quarterback, I think the top 2 or 3 stories in the offseason on the field will be Notre Dame's quarterback situation. Does Golson stay, leave, what happens there? Braxton Miller at Ohio State. And whatever happens in the Big 12, what will they do about being shut out of the playoff this year?
And Golson now, Rod, back in the ball game. And 2nd and 10. Notre Dame with a timeout remaining. LSU with a full complement of 3. Golson steps up, fires, incomplete, but that should have been caught by Fuller. Hit him right in the hands. He couldn't have thrown a better ball.
Kelly said he wanted the ball to come out on time. That was a big thing for Golson. Good footwork, ball is out on time. Fuller just dropped it. Just dropped it. That's an All-American receiver. He's had a good game, had a touchdown, just couldn't come up with that one.
3rd down, 10 to go. Trying to keep this drive alive. Maybe potentially get into field goal range. Allow in motion, now trips at the top of the screen.
Golson, complete. And a 1st down for Notre Dame, and a nice grab by Ben Koyak.
Composure, experience. Golson sitting in the pocket, not getting rattled. He didn't bail out of there. He stayed in there and came off his first read to find his tight end Koyak.
Going to try and get in field goal range for Kyle Brinza, perhaps. Who has a career long of 53.
Golson giving him plenty of time. Completes it to Fulston. Nice move. And down at the 30-yard line. There was a missed tackle by Beckwith. And another 1st down.
protection. That started with the protection. Golson had all day, couldn't find anything, does a check down. This is something you didn't see from him before, taking the check down throw. Now, if you're an LSU fan, you got to be wondering, where's the pressure? You can't get there with 4. You got to bring more.
They're in field goal range for Brinza. Golson sets up the screen, complete. Down to the 22-yard line, complete to Chris Brown. Notre Dame with a timeout remaining, 40 seconds to go. Godchon making the tackle on the 8-yard gain.
Wouldn't you agree that Kelly's not comfortable from this range with the field goal? This would be about a 40-yarder.
Kyle Brinza this year is 13 of 23 for Notre Dame, and it's a guy that made so many big kicks for them last year. Slumped at times this season, just 13 of 23, but certainly highly thought of as an invite to the NFL Combine already.
He's got a strong leg, just hasn't been as accurate as he'd like and as Notre Dame would like. Another 2 tight end set for Notre Dame.
And Zaire back in the ball game to run it. Malik Zaire gets the first down and then some. Inside the 15-yard line. A gain of 8 with 36 seconds to go.
Well, Notre Dame has done a lot more of this today. 2 tight ends, and that's been an issue for LSU. Notre Dame hasn't shown a lot of this. They've been a big play, throw it down the field team, but 2 tight ends has been an issue, and now they're in great field goal range.
Clock running with 22 seconds to go. 19 now. 13th play of the drive. Zaire got to get down with it, and he does. And they're going to burn their timeout with 4 seconds to go. And now the spotlight falls solely and singularly on Kyle Brinza.
Give me a 30-second charge timeout.
Now, I assume that is the hash mark on which they wanted the ball for the kick as opposed to the other way, because Zaire did not try to go back to the middle of the field. He kept going to get wide, and I'm assuming he understood that's where they wanted it as opposed to making a mistake in going that far.
Brinza's made so many big kicks for Notre Dame through the years.
So, Jonesy, both coaches told us that winning this game was critical to them for the offseason and for next year. For LSU, hoping to sell some of their juniors on the fact that if they come back, they've got national championship possibilities.
From 32 yards out. They got it down, and he knocked it through. Notre Dame wins it. Let's go downstairs to Jessica with head coach Brian Kelly.
Coach, you told us yesterday your goals for this game were to extend this game to the 4th quarter, have those long drives. How were you able to execute it?
Well, I mean, you know, we had many opportunities during the year to finish games off, and, you know, it's just the way things unfolded this year that we made some mistakes. Today we didn't make the mistakes. We took care of the football. Guys played together, and we made the kicks that we needed. We didn't make these kicks 2 or 3 times during the year, so really proud of our team. LSU's a great football team. Great way to finish the season and build some momentum for 2015.
And with that momentum, Malik Zaire, he gets his first start, his first bowl game.
Yeah.
How did you feel like he performed?
He did what we asked him to do. controlled the clock. You know, we have to keep a great offense. Leonard Fournette is obviously a difference maker. He made a difference today, and we have to keep them off the field. And I think Malik helped us do that in terms of running the football.
Thank you so much, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mark?
All right, Jess. And his reaction after the successful hold and kick, looking to the heavens. And his other half of the quarterbacking tandem today, Golson, jubilant as well. And the customary Gatorade shower, and it all feels good today for the Golden Domers. 31-28, the final score. Following the game, tune into ESPN3 post-game trophy ceremony presented by Capital One. For Rod Gilmore and Jessica Mendoza, I'm Mark Jones saying so long. Right now, we send it to the studio and John Saunders.